let me ask you the next question, because there's probably a lot of people listening. They have, they want to do a podcast, right? I'm just starting a new podcast, and I don't know how I'm going to monetize it. So that sounds really cost effective to have somebody do all the content marketing, all the editing, all the uploading, reels, all these things. But okay, how do you make money with it?
Making money with a podcast is actually very difficult, but it could also be very easy depending on what your niche is and what you're doing, right? So, particularly in the personal finance niche or real estate niche or anything like that, investing, there's ways to make money by, offering your services that you offer. So, my financial coaching and everything, I've gotten clients through my podcast. I'm also a licensed real estate agent out here in Hawaii. I've gotten actual clients through my podcast. But I also do affiliates, right? So programs that I believe in, stuff that I use. We all met Adam at, actually you met Adam several times, David, right? At FinCon as well. But Adam Carroll at RubeCon, and I do an affiliation with Shred Method because I use it myself. I absolutely love it. I do velocity banking. I've been using my HELOC now for a little while to invest and buy more real estate. And while I'm chunking it down, it's been really awesome. So I have affiliates with that. And I just run like small ads on my podcast. I've had people pay me for ad space. Other coaches and things, they'll say, "Hey, I'd like to run an ad on your podcast for like 5 weeks," and they'll pay me. So I'm like, "Yeah, sure," and I'll record a ad and I'll throw it on there. Buzzsprout recently just started a beta program, which is now live. Actually, so it's no longer a beta. Where they advertise other podcasts on your podcast and they pay you. And it's not much, but I'm making consistently a little over $100 a month just from the Buzzsprout ads. And I've asked people, I'm like, "Hey, when you listen to my show, is there a lot of stuff?" Because they'll randomly put it in, right? They find a good spot where it fits and they'll put it in. So I've asked other people like, "Hey, when you're listening to my episodes, is it spammy? Like, is it a lot of these ads popping up?" They're like, "No, like we heard like one and it was fine." So, and they're generally pretty quick. I try to keep my ads, at the maximum a minute or under. I don't like to go over that because I'll usually run 2 around the mid-roll time. So, but that's what I've done to monetize my podcast. It pays for itself. It pays for my VA. Like none of that comes out of anything else. That comes straight out of the podcast funds.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
You need to teach David how to do some of that, because the best thing he's ever done for this podcast was ask me to be a co-host. Everything else, average.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
No, I said average.
We're coming up on 200 episodes, though.
Oh, man. That's an awesome accomplishment. Like, for real. 'Cause when I hit 100, I was ecstatic. So 200, I can't imagine.
We're going to have to get some awesome guests on, like Joe Biden.
That'll get clicks.
Andrew Tate.
That'll get, God.
Yeah. Talking about being shadow banned on TikTok, it'll just be banned in general.
Oh, man. Yeah. All right. So let's see. What do we want to talk personal finance side? Mike, what are your favorite topics in that world? Finance coach life.
Well, I mean, I like to focus on what I call the 4 pillars of building wealth, right? And the things I like to talk about is education, which is the first pillar, right? I don't think anybody should go into any type of personal finance journey or investment journey or real estate or anything like that without first educating themselves. Sure, sometimes it's good to just get in there and make it happen and learn as you go. But a lot of times, especially, as real estate investors, that becomes an expensive education, right? When you have to do that stuff yourself and you wind up making mistakes that you got to pay for, right? So I think education is the number one most important thing that you need to start with. The next thing is mentorship and coaching. I have a coach. I use coaches. I pay my coaches. I think it's important. They keep me accountable. They keep me on track to do what I need to do. I have a coach right now for being a real estate agent, right? And she yells at me all the time that I'm not doing enough in that and stop focusing on this other bull crap. So coaching is important. I have some really great mentors as well. There is a difference, and a lot of people don't realize that there is a difference between a coach and a mentor, right? You're not paying for a mentor. A mentor is somebody that you look up to that's going to inspire you and motivate you. But a coach is somebody that you're going to pay that's going to hold you to be accountable, right? And push you in the right direction. So I think it's important that people know the difference between them as well. The third one is networking and relationships. And this is probably the pillar that I focus on the most, is building my network and building strong relationships with people. It's one thing to network and get out and meet and greet people. That's great. That's fine and dandy. But you need to build relationships. You need to actually follow up with people, ask them how their family's doing and all of that. Because if you don't, it's just, oh yeah, I know that guy, we're acquaintances. I don't want people to think of me as an acquaintance. I want people to think of me, oh no, Mike, he's a good guy. He's my friend. That's the way I want people to, look at me when they think about me. And then the fourth pillar, which is the most important one out of all of them, is take action. So all those other three pillars mean nothing if you don't take action. So those are the four pillars that I focus on. That's what that's what I like to do. So yeah.
Most of our guests are young service members, as you can probably imagine.
Like me.
Yeah. I said young.
Young.
I said young. So,
Young.
yeah.
Young.
Most of our
38.
Most of our listeners probably can't grow a beard, even if the military let them.